Hi, this is John Martinez. We train sales teams across the country to sell more and to do it with less effort and to do it a little quicker and to get better, healthier margins while doing so. Now, one of the more common and really highly impactful problems that business owners come to us with looking for help to solve is they oftentimes have sales calls, sales processes that go really, really well, and they build a lot of rapport with their prospects, and the conversation goes just as well as they could hope, and then somewhere towards the end, things just fall apart and they just have no reason why. So they pull us in to figure out what's going on, what are we missing, what do we need to do to prevent this from happening again. And now there's a lot of reasons why this could happen, but I want to talk about one that's pretty common. And this has to do with hidden decision makers or hidden influencers. And the deal is this: usually during any sales process, there's one or a small number of people with authority, actual decision makers. And as salespeople, that's all we want to talk to, right? Because that's a person or the small group of people who's okay we need to progress the deal forward. And we don't want to bring up a whole bunch of stuff or a whole bunch of other people that may not impact the deal because we might lose the decision maker's attention. We just really want to stay focused on those people in front of us, those people who can say yes. But this is a problem. This is an issue because oftentimes it's those hidden influencers who might not have any authority or power whatsoever to say yes, but who can influence a yes or influence a no. I'm going to give you an example of this, a real world example. I work with a few companies that acquire apartment complexes around the country. Now, who has the decision-making authority? Well, usually it's the owner, which is made up of one, two, or a very small group of people, typically. Those are the people with the authority to make the yes or no decision. But now think about this. How many people are potentially impacted by that decision, by the decision of the owner to sell the property? Let's just count it. The tenants. How many tenants are there? Do the owners of this apartment complex have relationships with those tenants? Have they been with them a decade or two? Do they know the families? What about the maintenance people? Do they feel a responsibility to the maintenance people and what happens with their jobs? Will they be cut? Will they stay on? Will the benefits change? What about the community, right? Are they going to let this apartment complex be run down? Are they going to spruce it up? How is this going to impact the community and their standing in the community? When you start to think about these things, with even something as simple as an apartment complex with one or just a handful of owners, you start to realize quickly that there's many people, there's many groups that might influence a yes or a no. More so than just the person or the small group with the authority to actually say yes and sign off on the deal. So if you want your sales to continue moving forward, if you don't want them to fizzle out at the end anymore, one question you must start to ask somehow is, what about these other people? What about influencers? You're going to need to get off of decision makers and start asking something like, hey, listen, let me ask you this. If you did decide to buy from me or buy this from anyone else, who might have a say about what happens? Who might be impacted? Is there anyone out there who might get a little bit upset if you don't run the decision by them first, or at least let them know what's going on, right? In a corporate scenario, this could be the finance person. It could be the customer service people. It could be the people on the front lines, using a product or service or software or CRM or what have you. Ask that question. Stop stopping with who has the power to say yes. Stop stopping with decision makers and start to ask about influencers, because just as the name suggests, they can oftentimes influence a decision one way or the other. And if you fail to take them into account, you're cutting yourself short and you're cutting your prospect short. You're not covering the information you should to help them appropriately walk through the decision, and you're not doing everything you can to have the right conversation and help your prospect make the right decision. So that's what I want you to do. Start today to ask about influencers. It's easy, it takes a split second, and you will win more deals. And I'm being sincere about this. I want you to try it. Just do it a handful of times and see what happens. It's one of those really easy things you can do that might have massive impact on your career or your net revenue or your gross revenue or however you measure success. So if you enjoyed this video, if you thought there was a valuable nugget or two in there, please share it with anyone else you think might get a little bit of use and value out of it.